Hey guys, welcome to our first lecture or first video in how to program. All right, so congratulate yourself on getting this far. Hopefully before this you have installed Python on your computer and installed Jupyter notebooks on your computer. If you haven't done so, please make sure you go through that lecture first. It's a prerequisite to this, and without having gone through that, then a lot of this is going to be kind of tough for you. So you definitely have to have Python 3 installed and Jupyter Notebooks installed on your computer first before this. All right. Now in this lecture, what we're going to cover is kind of the basics. This is really all the ways that every programmer really starts is with Hello World, right? Okay, so first we're going to talk about Jupyter Notebooks a little bit. We've covered that in the past lecture, but we'll go over it quickly again as well. And then we're going to go through the Hello World example. Okay, so basically there are three main things that you really need to pay attention to in Jupyter Notebooks. Once you've opened it up, we have the input cell, the output, and the run function. Those are the main things that we're going to be working with. So once you have Jupyter opened here, and again, if any of this is confusing, please go through the previous lecture where we go through in detail how to upload files, how to open files from the internet and things like that. But essentially here, we're going to start off with making a new notebook, a new Python 3. And you see here that we have our input cell where we could type in our code, right? And we're going to type in hello world. Okay, that's going to be our first example. And then we have our run button where we could run the code. And then we have our output over here, hello world. Okay. Now, those are three main things. Again, there are other things that you can do as well. Please watch the previous lecture on how to installing Python on Windows or Mac, and we'll talk about the details there. Okay, so hello world. So what are we doing here? What is print? What is hello world? What is going on, right? So first of all, what we're using something called a function, and that function is called print. Okay, sometimes it's also called a method, depending on where you're reading it from. Function, method, same thing, just different wording. So basically a print function, what it does is it displays text on the screen. It's going to do that in Jupyter Notebooks. It will also do that if you run regular Python files through your computer as well, which we'll cover in another section at some point. Okay. And then inside the print function, we're going to be writing hello world, right? So that's kind of the thing that we always do whenever someone starts programming is we do the hello world, right? But you can type in whatever else you want. We could type in hi there, right? And if you run that, you have a different output, okay? Now, so again, you have your inputs in the cell, you have your output on that cell as well, okay? And then let's talk about what exactly is happening here. All right, so what is this? So first of all, print is our function signature. Print is one type of function. There are many different types of functions, and you're going to get introduced to more and more of them as this class goes on. Print is kind of the first one here, and really one that you're probably going to be using quite often because you're going to want to see what your code is doing. You're going to want some sort of output from it, right? It's not just going to be hello world. We're going to be able to print numbers and all sorts of different things, right? Okay. Whenever you run a function, you always have to have an open bracket, right? And then you're going to put whatever is inside of that function, the inputs into that function, okay? And then we're going to close the bracket, okay? And in this case, what we're doing is we're putting in something called a string, which is basically just a word, or it's a bunch of characters. It's a word or a sentence or whatever. And we have to surround that in quotes, right? So make sure you don't forget the quotes because it won't work without that, okay? Now, we could also do other things. We could print numbers. We could print 126, for example. We print that out. We don't need to have quotes around that. If you put quotes around it, it's something slightly different, but you won't be able to tell a difference in this particular situation, but there is a difference, right? And and essentially that's the case. Okay, so one more thing that we want to cover here, and you'll see these a lot throughout our code that we'll write, but you also see this a lot on the internet. right? And I think it's something that's quite important for you to know, and that's code comments, okay? So essentially what a code comment is it's a way for us to put in a little bit of our own comments or our own wording into code without it actually being code. So whenever we write a comment, it is not code. It's not something that's going to be executed. It's just a way of writing something down, right? You'll also notice that they're going to be in gray color. Okay, so here's an example where we have a print function. We say, hello, this is us using the print function, right? So it's just regular text. If you run it, nothing is going to be different. You just have to make sure you put this hashtag in front of it. All right, so anything with hashtag on front, we can do it like this as well. This is code. Okay, this this is not code, right? Okay, and you see that it's basically ignoring all that. Okay, so just in case if you see this around, this is a code comment. It's not actually being executed. It's just for us to be able to give a little bit more detail to you, so you understand what's going on with the code. Is usually what people use this for, right? So it's, you know, you write a complex piece of code and you want to explain to someone, this is the part that does this. This is the part that does this. That's called a code comment. All right. Okay, so pat yourself on the back. You've written your first program, and yeah, let's continue on. Let's keep learning. See you in the next lecture. This is brought to you by LumiWealth.com, where we teach you about finance, programming, and just in general how to make money. So if you'd like to get 25% off our entire website, which has a ton of courses, a ton of like cool courses that you can learn about programming and finance, then what you're going to do is you're going to use either the link in the description, or you can use our promo code, which is LUMI25. That's LUMI25, just like Luminate or like Lumi Wealth, the name of our company. When you get there, there's going to be tons of great courses that you can choose from about programming, about finance, and a lot of these courses are even free, so don't feel like you need to spend money. You have the 25% off if you need it, but feel free to get some of the free stuff as well. So check it out, LumiWealth.com. Thanks for listening.